everyone, a very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Let's begin with this morning's headlines. Home Minister says Delhi will soon sign the Teesta water deal with Bangladesh. Centre aims to seal the deal during Modi's two-day visit in June. Delhi Assembly emergency session ends today after passing a resolution asking for powers to be able to impeach Lieutenant Governor. Death toll in the killer heat wave crosses 800, but some respite expected in the coming days with predictions of thunderstorm. Kabul's diplomatic quarter under attack once again. Armed militants hold guest house under siege. No casualties reported. Pro-government forces launch operation to drive Islamic State out of Anbar in Iraq. Troops now seek help from Shia fighters. First up in the bulletin, Home Minister Rajya has said that India hopes to ink the Teesta water sharing deal with Bangladesh soon. After the land swap deal that was cleared in Parliament, the Modi government hopes to redefine its relations with its eastern neighbour with a deal on the contentious river issue. Here's more.
The bone of contention between India and Bangladesh. With a total length of 315 kilometers, the river Teesta flows for 130 kilometers through Bangladesh. Though it originates in Sikkim and flows through the northern part of West Bengal, Bangladesh has been accusing India of using more than a fair share of the waters.
भारत और बांग्लादेश के बीच लैंड बाउंड्री का मामला 40 वर्षों से अधर में लटका हुआ था, लेकिन इस पर फैसला हो चुका.
Agreeing on a deal for equitable sharing of the Teesta water is one of Bangladesh's highest priority in its relations with India. Bangladesh wants more access to the Teesta river, citing a fair use policy that may require India to use less. A treaty on sharing the river water was to be signed in 2012 by the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. But West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee pulled out of the delegation visiting Dhaka at the last moment. The central government now hopes that Mamata would cooperate in ensuring that the treaty is signed. The centre has to take the state's prior approval before presenting it for formal signing.
और तीस्ता जल बंटवारे का मामला भी मैं समझता हूं कि जल्दी इस पर दोनों देशों की मुहर लगेगी और हमें वेस्ट बंगाल की सरकार का भी सहयोग इसमें मिलेगा. हम पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त हैं.
After the historic land swap deal was passed in Parliament to redraw the shared borders, the government is now aiming for the river treaty to be inked during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit to Bangladesh beginning on the 6th of June. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now take a look at what's lined up for the day today in our segment The Day Ahead. The NDA government continues with its Jan Kalyan Parv to highlight its achievements in 1 year of its rule. As part of the program, Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar will visit Raipur to inaugurate an exhibition cum fair showcasing the achievements of the Modi government. Home Minister Rajnath Singh will visit Jammu and Kashmir to attend the Jan Kalyan Parv, while HRD Minister Smriti Irani will address a rally at Kharagpur in West Bengal. BJP President Amit Shah will visit Surat and Goa to address rallies. Today is the second day of the Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi's visit to Kerala at 10 a.m. This morning, he will be interacting with fishermen at Chavakad Beach in Trishul district. Later in the afternoon, he will meet representatives of the rubber growers organizations in Alwa in Ernakulam district. Yesterday, he addressed a Pradesh Youth Congress rally in Kozhikode. A special court in Delhi will hear arguments on framing of charges against former Jharkhand Chief Minister Madhu Koda and 8 others in a coal blocks allocation scam case. Several top-level bureaucrats have also been named in the case, which pertains to the allocation of Rajara North coal block in Jharkhand to Visul, in which massive irregularities were reported. Telugu Desam Party's first Mahanadu or the biennial convention after bifurcation of a united Andhra Pradesh will be held in Hyderabad today. The focus of the convention will be on ways to develop the party into a national party, strengthen the organization in Telangana and appreciate Chandrababu Naidu's governments for the fulfilling major poll promises despite a severe financial crunch. Moving on now, the Aam Aadmi Party has passed a resolution asking for powers to be able to impeach the Delhi Lieutenant Governor. The resolution was passed on the first day of an emergency two-day assembly session amid the bitter spat between Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and LG Najib Jung over the appointment of bureaucrats. Here's more.
The bitter power tussle in Delhi between Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and LG Najib Jung worsened on Tuesday. On the first day of the two-day emergency assembly session, the AAP moved a resolution seeking powers to impeach the LG. The resolution comes after a week of confrontation between the two offices over appointments of bureaucrats. The party also introduced a motion against the centre's notification backing the LG, which was adopted by the assembly.
सरकारिया कमीशन का ये रिकमेंडेशन था उसी तरह 155 और 156 सेक्शन को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को अमेंड किया जाए जैसे कि स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर्स को भी पावर हो गवर्नर लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर को इम्पीच करने की। तो मैंने ये मांग की है कि ये असेंबली ये रेजोल्यूशन पास करे कि पार्लियामेंट को ये बोला जाए कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के सेक्शन 155 156 को अमेंड किया जाए।
However, BJP, the only opposition party in the assembly, raised objections over the motion against centre's notification. The party said that the matter should now be resolved in the court.
जो टकराव चल रहा है सो कॉल्ड टकराव, वो टकराव नहीं है, संविधान के इंटरप्रिटेशन का मामला है। संविधान का इंटरप्रिटेशन राज्य सरकार एक तरीके से कर रही है, केंद्र सरकार दूसरे तरीके से कर रही है। मामला कोर्ट में जाएगा, अपने आप मामला सेटल हो जाएगा। इससे राज्यों के साथ दुर्व्यवहार का कोई मामला नहीं है भैया, संविधान के इंटरप्रिटेशन का मामला है, उसकी व्याख्या का मामला है।
Earlier, Kejriwal met Jung on Tuesday morning. This was the first meeting between the two since the confrontation began. The meeting came a day after the High Court ruled that Delhi's Anti-Corruption Bureau can initiate action against corrupt central officials. Kejriwal sees the ruling as a major embarrassment for the centre, which he accused of trying to rule Delhi through the LG. With inputs from Anu Diwan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Joining me for a chat this morning is the Assistant Political Editor of the Times of India, Mahua Chatterjee. Mahua, thank you for joining me on the program. You know, what are the implications really of the resolution that has been moved by the Aam Aadmi Party to try and impeach the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi? Now, is this going to have larger implications?
Of course, it's going to have larger implications. It's it's not something which is easily doable. But even to say, even to announce, and these people have gone and got a resolution passed about impeachment of a governor is a huge thing. But whether they'll be able to do it or not, and like you were just showing Amit Shah's clippings yesterday at the press conference, he's actually said it, that the powers are not there yet. What the Aam Aadmi Party government, the Kejriwal government has done is, having passed a resolution and gone and publicly sort of declared that they're asking for these powers, they've increased the level of bitterness to probably to a point of no return.
Okay.
And this will only, because both the governments with their parties, respective parties, whether it's the BJP at the center and the Aam Aadmi Party in the Delhi government, sitting next to each other right here in Delhi,
with massive mandates.
Have their massive mandates, have their, brute majorities in the House. So they feel very confident, and therefore this fight is going to be very bitter. And for all you know, for the next 5 years, 4 years at least, we're going to see this confrontation at various levels.
So this is just the beginning. There's still more to come.
I'm getting that feeling right now. And I don't know what will come out of it, because on the one hand, it is a political bitterness especially from BJP, which sort of lost out so badly to this new outfit, and they can't come to terms with the fact that Arvind Kejriwal and company have sort of completely thrown them aside as far as Delhi is concerned. And on the other hand, they are also, the Aam Aadmi Party, probably the government, the Kejriwal government, I'm getting a feeling that they're, by trying to bring these issues one by one. See, if they start asking for statehood for Delhi, nobody is going to give it to them. And right now, government at the Modi government at the center is completely averse to it. So instead of going first asking for statehood, what they're probably doing is going piecemeal, you're going asking for one power after the other. So at least you're raising the pitch of this demand for more administrative powers to a higher degree.
Indeed, but something else also has happened. Basically, the central government has backtracked. It is said that it won't interfere with the functioning of the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi. What do you think has prompted that, that statement by the Home Minister Rajnath Singh?
Just now, Amit Shah, you were showing the clippings from yesterday, and I was there, and then he said that ultimately this matter is going to go to court and the court is going to decide it. Now, in all probability, I mean, the centre went and said that the Delhi government has no powers over the bureaucrats that function there. Now, that cannot be a very functional arrangement really, because if you if the higher government announces that the state government does not have any power, or the UT government, which the Delhi government has no powers over the officers that it works with, it becomes very difficult for that government to function with those bureaucrats. So somewhere that tussle has now, and it's bound to go to, so having said that, the aggressiveness from the Kejriwal end only intensified to a further extent and got really, this came up to this thing about impeachment. So if this, instead of being aggressive, if both parties had sorted things out in a better manner, really, I don't know whether it was possible or not, but if this, the trouble is if this continues, the whole debate, the whole time will be spent on this confrontation rather than on governance.
And the people are going to suffer. All right, Mahua, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and putting things into perspective for us this morning. Moving on now, here's a look at what else is making news across the country in our segment Nationwide. Refuting allegations of her favouring power companies and tricking the government, Delhi Principal Secretary Shakuntala Gamblin has written to Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung clarifying her stand over the charges levelled against her by the Aam Aadmi Party government. A breakthrough is awaited for resolving the Gujjar reservation issue as the second round of talks between a delegation of the agitating leaders and a panel of 3 Rajasthan ministers failed to arrive at a conclusion. The talks between the 13-member Gujjar delegation and the ministerial committee took place at the Rajasthan Secretariat and lasted for nearly 4 hours. The parleys will resume today. Gujjars have been on protest demanding 5% quota in government jobs. The centre has defended its decision to cancel the foreign contribution registration of Greenpeace India before the Delhi High Court, saying that the NGO had violated the norms by opening 5 accounts to utilise foreign donations without informing the relevant authorities. The Ministry of Home Affairs charged Greenpeace with violating Foreign Contribution Regulation Act by merging its foreign donations with domestic contributions. Greenpeace has challenged the government's order to freeze its accounts. Well, soaring temperatures have gripped parts of southern and northern India in an extreme heat wave which has killed more than 800 people and looks set to continue this week. Neither the central government nor the state governments have relief plans in place. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have been the worst affected states. The Met Department says that hailstorms in the region in the next few days might bring some respite.
A stifling heat wave has killed more than 750 people across the country. The worst hit are the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, where over 550 deaths have been reported. Temperatures in the region are hovering nearly 4 to 5 degrees above normal. The Met Department has issued red box warnings for Odisha, Jharkhand and Andhra Pradesh, which means there are high chances of heat stroke, dehydration and fatality with temperatures crossing 45 degrees Celsius. Besides these states, the heat wave could worsen in parts of Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh over the next 2 days.
Today, marginally, there will be higher temperatures up to 45 degrees or so, and then gradually they will be reducing. Maybe by tomorrow, some thunderstorm activities would start in Telangana area and also in coastal Andhra Pradesh area.
The effect of heat stroke, heat wave conditions in Krishna district is very severe over the past 5 to 6 days, with the temperature reaching to 47 to 48 degrees Celsius to even some areas. Now the people have been advised through various mediums of communication to take adequate precautions in this regard.
While the rest of India continues to simmer under the intense heat wave, the higher reaches of Rajouri district in Jammu and Kashmir received fresh snowfall on Monday. The sudden change in weather has been caused by a western disturbance over the region.
मई और जून में कहीं बर्फ नहीं मिलती, इवन गुलमर्ग में बर्फ नहीं है इस वक्त, लेकिन यहाँ पे इस वक्त बर्फ है। तो वही इस जगह की उपलब्धि है कि इस जगह में अभी वहाँ से ज्यादा टूरिस्ट यहाँ आना चाहिए।
फ्रेश स्नोफॉल हुआ है, जबकि पूरे हिंदुस्तान में गर्मी के लोग जल रहे हैं। यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं कितना फ्रेश मौसम, शाम को फ्रेश स्नोफॉल हुआ था, अभी कोई आधे घंटे पहले फ्रेश स्नोफॉल हुआ।
Despite its periodic incidents and very high levels of mortality, heat wave is not considered a natural disaster. In comparison, the cold wave, which also kills hundreds of people during winter, is in the government's list of natural disasters, and the victims are entitled to compensation besides access to other forms of relief. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it's time now for a very quick break, but still to come. Kabul's diplomatic quarter under attack once again. Details after this break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hottest topics.
If you can facilitate the opening up and the expansion of the international border trade, you can add to the economy.
370 धारा जो है वो जम्मू कश्मीर को मुल्क के साथ जोड़े रखती है.
Candid confessions.
The Congress has not been able to communicate.
We have to revive our links with the masses.
World-class healthcare is available to only a handful of people in this country.
Courting controversies.
A lot of leaders today think that they rule by divine right.
Now, media has become manageable.
Watch RSTV engaged personalities to the point. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Thursday, 1:30 and 5:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, in a desperate move to capture its lost lands, the Iraqi troops are now seeking help from Shia fighters in their fight against the Islamic State. The military fight to retake Anbar province is underway. Here's more.
Iraqi troops have launched a major operation to retake control of its biggest province, Anbar, from the Islamic State. This comes 2 weeks after they suffered a humiliating defeat in Anbar's capital of Ramadi. The military's failure to hold Ramadi has forced the government to send Iran-backed Shia military troops to help retake the city. The operation will cover the IS-captured vast areas of Salahuddin province, Tikrit and Ramadi.
عمليات لبيك يا حسين المساحة الجغرافية التي تستهدفها هو تحرير مناطق شمال صلاح الدين وجنوب غرب تكريت وصولا إلى شمال شرق الرمادي.
The launch of the operation in Anbar comes just days after US officials, including Defense Secretary Ash Carter, criticized Iraqi forces, saying they fled Ramadi without fighting back, leaving behind weapons and vehicles for the extremists. The loss of Ramadi a week ago was swiftly followed by the fall of the UNESCO heritage city of Palmyra in Syria, prompting fears that archaeological ruins would be destroyed. However, the Pentagon has now confirmed that Iraqi forces have now begun shaping operations and security zone interactions, actions expected to precede major combat in or around Ramadi. The operation is called Labaik Ya Hussein. The slogan is an honor for the Prophet Muhammad's grandson, who was killed in a 7th century battle that led to the division between the Shia and Sunni Muslim sects. The Shia forces, however, have drawn criticism for giving the operation an openly sectarian code name that could infuriate the Sunni population. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Kabul's diplomatic quarter has come under attack once again. Heavily armed militants barged into a guest house in the Wazir Khan area of Kabul late last night, triggering multiple blasts and explosions in the locality. The gun battle between security forces and militants is still on. The Wazir Khan district is home to several embassies and government buildings. Here's more.
Heavy gunfire and explosions echoed through an upscale neighborhood in Kabul late Tuesday night. Unidentified gunmen stormed a guest house popular with foreigners in the Wazir Akbar Khan district, which is a diplomatic area. At least a dozen explosions were heard in the area in less than an hour. News reports suggest that the Rabbani guest house, formerly known as the Hital guest house, was the target as it's popular among foreigners. It was attacked by the Taliban in December 2009 as well. Amid multiple explosions that continued through the night, teams of the elite Afghan forces were deployed to fight the insurgents. All routes leading to the area have been blocked. Though no one has claimed responsibility so far, the Taliban is suspected to be behind the attack. 2 weeks ago, the group had carried out a deadly attack at a guest house in Kabul, killing at least 14 people. Since the launch of its summer offensive, the militant group has been targeting foreigners and attacking high-security diplomatic areas in Kabul. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more international news now. Top negotiators of South Korea, the United States and Japan have gathered in Seoul to discuss North Korea's nuclear program. Bilateral talks were held on Tuesday between each of the three diplomats, and a trilateral dialogue was held today. They discussed deterrence against North Korea and ways to resume the six-party talks that have stalled since late 2008. After the talks, South Korean and US delegates will reportedly fly to China to meet with Wu Dawei, Chinese Special Representative for the Korean Peninsula Affairs.
Our three countries, Korea, US and Japan, will cooperate very closely in consultation with China and Russia to respond effectively to the North Korean threats and to make progress in the denuclearization of North Korea.
Let's now bring you up to date with the other significant news updates from around the globe in our World Wrap. The UN's top human rights chief has urged the world to pay renewed attention to the plight of the world's sea migrants. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Zeid Ra'ad Al Hussein said EU's response to the migrant boat crisis is inadequate and said Asian countries must also do more to help the plight of thousands of migrants arriving on its shores. A US court has backed a temporary hold on President Barack Obama's plans to shield almost 5 million illegal immigrants from deportation. The hold was imposed after 26 states launched a legal challenge against the executive action, alleging it was unconstitutional. The plan announced last year stated that people who entered the US illegally as children and parents of children who are US citizens would be offered temporary protection from deportation. US journalist Jason Rezanian went on trial on espionage charges behind closed doors in Tehran on Tuesday. Jason was detained for almost 10 months after he was arrested at his home and imprisoned. He had been accused of passing information to hostile governments. Jason defended himself in court and said that he carried out his activities as a journalist. Jason could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Brazilian police on Tuesday claimed to have captured an Italian man wanted in Italy for more than 20 years for connections to the Italian mafia. Pascal Scotti was convicted in Italy in 1991 for more than 20 murders in addition to weapons charges, extortion and other crimes. The 56-year-old was captured by Brazilian police working with Interpol. The report said that the crimes he is wanted for were carried out between 1980 and 1983 and that he had been on the run since 1986. The Italian citizen is expected to be extradited to his home country once a formal report is filed by Italy. Let's now bring you up to date with sports and news from around the globe in our sports beat. Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal eased closer to the French Open quarterfinal showdown. Top seed Djokovic defeated experienced Jarko Nieminen 6-2, 7-5, 6-2, while Nadal opened his bid for a 10th title with a 6-3, 6-3, 6-4 win over Quinton Hales. Hales, making his Grand Slam debut, was broken 5 times and made 52 unforced errors. Nadal will face compatriot Nicolas Almagro for a place in the last 32. India's Mahesh Bhupathi and his doubles partner, Australia's Nick Kyrgios, were knocked out of the French Open after suffering a straight set defeat in the first round of the men's doubles match. Australian Thanasi Kokinakis and France's Lucas Pouille beat the Indo-Australian pair 6-3, 6-1 to enter the second round. Commonwealth Games bronze medalist RMB Guru Sai Dutt and mixed doubles pair of Pranav Jerry Chopra and Ashwini Ponnappa reached the main draw of the Australian Open badminton tournament. Guru brushed aside Malaysia's Ai Wei Jan 21-13, 21-9 in the opening match before prevailing over Japan's Kazumasa Sakai's 21-15, 21-8 in the second clash of the qualifiers. Pranav and Ashwini also made a positive start in the mixed doubles, beating German combo of Mark Lamsfuss and Isabel Etrich 21-19, 21-17 in the first round. The Indian pair then defeated local shuttlers Chum Chen and Susan Wang 21-14, 21-6 to make it to the main draw. That's it on this edition of the Bulletin. Have a nice day.